Hey everybody, welcome back again to Wish You Were Beer. If you don't know, we do this every Thursday night.
Correct.
And if this is the
got nothing better to do.
What?
I got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's literally where I was going. If you're seeing us for the first time and it's a Thursday night, you have nothing better to do. And thank you so much for joining us.
And for skipping football for a little bit.
Well, mine's on pause.
We're waiting.
The TV is on pause currently.
It's also recorded, but Daniel doesn't trust the DVR aspect of things.
That's how much I cared about this show. I was like, we can just pause it. It's fine.
If it's on, all of a sudden I'm
It's
this
fine.
way, and then it's like, oh, Tiffany, did you want to join the show? Oh yeah, hold on, let me talk about it.
So
Continue.
Thursday Night Football is our Friday night podcast. So I apologize you're joining us on a Thursday where we talk about beer. If y'all would do us a favor, honestly, go down to the about section of the page. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, do all the obligatory things that need to be done to make sure that we can all have a beer together, occasionally at least.
And maybe one day we'll have enough people that have followed these directions
Sure.
we get like $4 or $5 every time we do something. Could you even imagine? We can pay for the
one beer.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You know what? And subscribing costs nothing. You know,
story.
It's that easy. I've subscribed to a whole bunch of people. I don't even know who they are.
That is one of the most underhanded statements ever. Like, I hear it everywhere I go on the internet. Subscribing costs nothing.
Just a few emails every now and then that you can unsubscribe from.
Right.
75. I will send you 75 emails if you subscribe today. Personally. Now, but make sure you follow us on all the individual outlets. So we do have an Instagram, which Phil and Tiffany are great at keeping up on, and they follow our beer journeys. Or if Tiffany sporadically cuts her hand in the kitchen and decides to show Sierra Nevada and they like it, that's great too.
Yeah, thanks, Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, true story.
It's okay. It's
okay.
It's a little sore.
But if you
I also like the idea that you thought that the beer was actually the thing closing up your cut when
Oh yeah, 100%.
definitely not the beer.
It wasn't the reason.
No, the beer is the reason your cut closed up.
Yep.
So much alcohol in your system. It was just like, well, we can't even bleed.
There's no more blood left. It's the best way to cook.
So if you're not following us on Instagram, you missed that whole thing. It was a great
100%.
story.
Yeah. If you're not following us anywhere, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, you can follow us on Instagram, like we said. We're also on Untapped. Untapped is our beer check-in app that we use every week in some capacity, but we also use it individually.
Mm-hmm.
Or every day, depending on the week I'm having.
Don't get started on me. So I have an individual, Tiffany does, and so does Phil. We also have a show Untapped, so you can follow all the beers we do from the show. And you can also follow all the beers we do personally, which is way more fun because...
Or depressing. Well, I don't know which one.
Depressing is a key adjective there.
I mean, the pandemic's been a real long haul. So
True story.
Why not drink in the morning?
I don't see anything depressing about it.
Because of work.
You're right.
So follow us on all those outlets. Make sure you pay attention. So we are trying to do better at keeping our beer calendar up to date. So our show calendar on the website, we keep everything up to date as far as we can in advance. So hopefully people can get the beers that we're going to have. So we do use Beer Drop and Tavour. So a lot of our beers come from those locations. Sometimes we get one like we're having tonight that we just individually, comfortably shared through parties.
They're available in multiple states. So
Correct.
in theory, this is something that you maybe have seen this brewery.
You can find a variation of this brewery almost anywhere you are currently.
Right.
But if you use our Beer Drop link down at the bottom, you get $10 off your first order, and so do we.
Not our first order. It's like
it'll be our 157th
many orders.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But you should subscribe to that as well. Use our link and.
I feel like you guys are doing some secret call for help in this intro.
That's every intro.
You're like, it's depressing.
That's every
Morris.
intro.
And we've ordered
I hate to
150
be the
beer
girl from
drops.
Florida who never came back from Utah, but her boyfriend's pretty comfortable at home right now. She should have blinked more.
Wow.
That's a deep
That was a very
deep
deep
cut.
reference.
That's a deep cut.
That's
So
on our
that being
deep
said,
cut podcast.
really, the moral of this story is give us a like, subscribe. Honestly, if you know somebody who likes beer or likes to make fun of people who like beer, we welcome them all.
Please make
I'd
fun
have
of
a
Daniel.
blast with any of them. That being said, as always, I am Daniel. This is Tiffany, and hostage/patient zero. Phil, how are you doing, bud?
They're gonna let me out of here at some point. I got a good feeling about it.
Dude,
So
I just need you to get some more wall art, man. I'm
Yeah.
worried about you.
I just need one more on this side. Weatherman
plant.
Phil.
Put
Use
a
a plant.
Texaco sign over there, like a gas sign. Like that would make me feel better about your chances.
I got nothing. I
got
literally
nothing.
have nothing. I'm in prison here, so
I
they
just
don't
love the
give me
idea
a
that
lot.
you looked like, oh shit, do I have anything?
Do I?
No.
I do not.
Phil, how's LA?
Yeah.
Great.
LA's good. It's finally starting to cool down a little bit, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I feel bad.
It's I wore a sweatshirt this morning while walking the dog. That's a big deal.
Yeah. I hope
yeah.
your apartment air conditioner could have kept up with the heat wave.
Oh no, this prison doesn't have air conditioning. But yeah, all is good here. It's LA. How are things going in Virginia?
Any better? They'd be fucking LA, Phil. No, they're going great.
It's almost sweater weather.
Yeah, so we had like a tease week. So like last week, there was a couple nights like into the 60s where it was like, oh, we can open the windows. There's no pollen. Like it's not spring. Like we can open the windows and it just smells like beautiful fall.
I saw multiple leaves fall. It was very exciting.
Oh, I love
I was
global warming.
positive
It's the best.
We're in the
I
realm
need to go
that
outside.
pumpkin beers and Marzens are coming out right now everywhere. And I'm like,
My jam.
Speaking of pumpkin beers, I did have the Trader Joe's pumpkin beer. Have you guys had this one yet?
No.
I mean, I can check, but I'm not.
I'd say skip it. Not my favorite. I know we've had them on the show. Nope, not them. But we've done one of their other.
Not them. Yeah, we traded Joe. For
Joe Brow or whatever is their brewery name is.
I don't remember. Well,
we
that
did,
bodes
we did
well.
the red, the drive-through red.
Drive-through red, which I did.
First show.
I know, and we did like that. So I'm not against Trader Joe's, but their pumpkin is just.
I just liked the drive-through redwood.
No one doubts why you liked that can art and beer.
I will say though, it was like my first pumpkin beer. I was sitting outside having like dinner, and so like when you're sitting outside, it's not cold yet in LA, and then you have like a spicy pumpkin beer. Maybe that was the problem.
That's an AC beer for you.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm okay.
So, I don't know. I've got 4 more in there, so I got to get through them, and I will.
Through.
Just try them though. I mean, honestly, so take it into like a different setting and try it again and see if it's different.
I will.
Like I always think about that as well. Like if it's hot as hell outside and I have a beer that maybe doesn't go well with the weather or with the setting, maybe I didn't like it that much, and then I try it again later, I'm always like, holy shit, this is way better than I thought it was. Like, why did I hate on it so much?
When it's not your first beer, it's always a little bit better the more beers you've been drinking.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's how I know I've been drinking, is it's a real high score, and I go back and go, what was this garbage?
Who is this John Mallet character?
I did have a Bell's as well.
Did you? Okay. Did you have the double?
Their tropical one, not the.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
So we still haven't had the double Two Hearted, like their double, and I keep seeing it being posted, and I still haven't tried it yet. So, sorry, Johnny Mal, which is what we call each other.
You just got malleted.
Yeah.
We go back to like episode 12, like just starting with the show.
Johnny Mal.
He came on the show and just hung out, and it was the whole time I had like weird fangirl.
Yeah, I just love the idea that we were like basically like even more in our infancy than now.
We weren't even like considered a startup.
And we reached out to Bells, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll see the VP of operations. His name's John Mallet." And I was like, "Are you sure?
You may know him from writing the book on malt.
Are you sure you want to talk to this person right now?"
I was like, "Oh, I'll make sure to."
And then come to find out their can art sucked, and we had a whole conversation about that.
I didn't realize that when you're only a few episodes in, you shouldn't bash on someone's can art, right?
No, honestly, I love it so much because it's become like your hill to die on. Like this is my hill to die on. How's your can art? How do I find you in the grocery store? How do I separate you?
By the way, I've never had your beer because your can art sucks.
Not a fisherman. Great two-hearted.
We digress. I apologize. Speaking of amazing can art.
Oh, true story.
So, the guest tonight / brewery we're featuring tonight is Oozlefinch.
Oh crap! We're having a guest on after we just talked about Mallet for that long.
It's just 11 minutes in, and we've just been like bullshit.
Just ripping John Mallet a new one.
So wait, we have Jason Fallon from Oozlefinch here, and Oozlefinch has amazing can art. Their artist, like every beer, is just phenomenal, and sometimes like really clever and witty and funny. I love the can art. So with that being said, let's bring in Jason, like a game show host.
I know. Oh, hold on, he's checking his tender.
No, are we live? Because I'm Daniel. I'm going through your 75 emails now because I subscribed and I like it. I'm almost through. I got about 10 more to go. Hang on.
It's what I do. It's what I do.
It's like where they send the one letter and it's like a line. Like the chat has like 45 lines and it's just a single case up.
Nice. And Phil, I got a little something for you too. If you need to get rid of those last 4 pumpkin beers, I'm sure you might have some cellmates there in that prison that need a little walk.
How else am I going to get cigarettes?
I got you, buddy.
We're not beer in this prison. We're all toilet wine.
Right.
Well, Jason, honestly, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. No, thanks for having me, guys. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, honestly, I don't want to give away all of trivia, but I love your venue so much.
It's if people follow like my Instagram, not Instagram, my Untapped, like all the photos of Untapped whenever I'm at Oozlefinch, and sometimes I'll repost them on our show Instagram. Yeah. It's always like, really, I'm taking a picture of the beer, but like if you don't pay attention to the surroundings behind it, they're all very well framed and like it's very pretty. I've been going there for I don't want to give away trivia, but basically since they started. Because I was like, what? Like, this place exists?
Yeah.
And they have beer? Man, the amount of times I worked from a picnic bench out there while drinking.
It is super, super, super cool. I grew up in San Francisco. And
how did I not know that?
How did she not know this?
I'm from Santa Cruz. Sorry.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I'm a 5th generation San Franciscan, so my family goes way back. And
we have streets in Oakland named after my family. I'm sorry. Well,
nice. I love it. Okay, next podcast we're gonna do our own. It's gonna be about West Coast transplants. How about that?
Right, that's our Saturday podcast.
Yeah.
Where were you born and raised?
Growing up in the city, one of my favorite spots to hang out and ride bikes as a kid and stuff, and was the Presidio. Such a beautiful area, and I tell you, man, the hills and the trails and stuff like that. So when I moved back to Virginia 2 years ago with my wife, and was looking to stay in the beer game back here, and I found Oozlefinch, it was literally like a marriage made in heaven. I mean, to be able to come on, this beautiful decommissioned fort that has so much history, it's awesome. It's really killer. So every day is a treat for sure.
So
now I'll say I'm lucky enough because when I came to visit Daniel and Tiffany, the first place they took me was there, and I was
right on.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So I'm happy you're here as well, and I'm happy that I can actually relate to all this conversation being on the West Coast.
Yeah. Me and Phil went down to the beach and had a beer together. It was the most beautiful.
It was pretty romantic.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Sunset. Was there music in the background?
In my heart. In my heart, there was.
In my heart. So this is always the same question I ask everyone that's not trivia related or not brewery related specifically, but before you got into this game, what did you do before this?
So this is kind of funny. This is funny. I spent 26 years
stripping,
always in sales. 26 years.
Okay. But, sales technically.
In sales, but no, it was with footwear. So I started off in retail, worked on the Nordstrom selling floor, Went right on up through a wholesale career where I worked for a couple of major companies, traveled as a road rep, coming from the West Coast. My territory was like Denver West, so I had 12, 13 states. And during my travels, I made it a point to always see the customer first and then a craft brewery after that. So it was all about discovery for me and just my love of things that are different and craft beer. So I've had this kind of parallel love affair for the last, probably 13, 14 years. And all of a sudden it was like the opportunity came for me to kind of jump out of the footwear game, and craft beer was opening up. I was living up in Seattle at the time. Got an amazing start with a brewery up there based out of Woodinville called Bosk Brewworks. Started by a brewer who came from Lagunitas, and the owner himself was a retired Boeing exec. So it was a nice kind of marriage of, money and brewing expertise, and they needed a sales guy. Yep. So being a self-distributed state, it was all about the hustle and hitting the ground early. So I spent almost a year and a half there with them before moving back east here, and literally brought them from 0 to 600 barrels in that time frame, all by myself. So.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was all based off the shoes, though. Let's not kid ourselves.
You know what? Let's just go talk to people. And if you can't talk to them about
here's my thing. So
shoes.
me and Tiffany were even talking. I was like, Jason from Oozlefinch. And she's like, oh, yeah, Jason. Oh, Jason with the good shoes. It's like Becky with the good hair. So like, here you are, bro. Jason with the good shoes.
Every time I've seen you in person, which is like a handful, I feel like we always just must miss each other, which is, that's fine. I don't take it personally. But no.
What's that?
But no, every time I've seen you, I'm like, oh man, that guy has some sweet shoes.
What are those shoes?
Yeah. So
now that makes so much sense.
I've noticed.
I had no idea that's the area of sales you came from, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. And it really does kind of parallel in what we're doing now, because craft beer is about community. It's about conversation. It's about similarities and learning. And you know what? You break it down. Sales is the same way if you listen to your customer. And that's really half the battle. So it was very natural, for me. And like I said, having that kind of parallel love affair, it was very easy to just kind of slide in. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So I think this is the part of the show, now that we've talked about your shoes, which is normally our Monday podcast. But we bled into it early.
If we're gonna do it, let's talk about my custom vans.
Oh my god.
Custom vans? Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Is there
wife's Christmas present right there?
I love it.
I have some old people slippers on that have
We'll call that a Wednesday. I know it's Thursday, but that's our Wednesday podcast.
Man,
I
work from home.
I like it.
I need some slippers that are gonna give me some support.
I'm over here wearing jellies, so I don't know about you guys.
And shuffle. That's what we'll call it. Slips, snip, and shuffle. There we go.
I'm for it.
Oh.
But anyway, so with that being said, we've talked about literally everything but the brewery so far. What's going on with the brewery? I know you guys.
I think we should just get into history and facts.
Okay.
My favorite sound cut away.
Well,
literally, I just want to set Phil up for it every time. Cut everyone off.
Nice.
Yes. All right. Well, disregard. We'll talk about it. Hold pause.
We'll get back to your shit.
This
later.
is technically still about the brewery, so it's fine. Let's start off with some trivia, and then as we kind of go through, we'll get to learn a little bit about Oozlefinch, and I'll give you a moment to pitch the weekend later.
The weekend is
Wait a minute. He's not on tonight. I'm
Yeah.
next week.
Thank you, Jason.
He's next week.
Correct. After his surgery settles down.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Tiff. Sorry.
Weekend with an END, not just the I forgot how to spell it.
I'm good. I'm with you.
No, I understood.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
All right.
Wait, hold on. I know this answer.
What year did Oozlefinch Beers and Blending open their doors? Also,
I love that Jason just coughed like, oh fuck, I don't know.
Excuse me.
So, For those of you who are logged into YouTube, you can actually play trivia with us. So if you comment along, there is a slight delay.
Vero excluded.
Vero is always allowed to play because she is the
knows
one
all
that
the
kicks
answers.
your ass every
Yeah.
time. But anyway, so if you comment along, you can answer with us, and you know, it's fun. And if it's not, I don't care. You should have fun.
What year did Oozlefinch beers and blending open their doors?
Right. So
2010, 2014, 2016, or 2018? Phil, I'm going to give you this one first because you have no understanding of this group as a.
Yeah. But I did do a little bit of research.
You son of a
So
bitch.
that's cheating.
Yeah, that's cheating.
well, I got to do a little bit. When you
don't
have
have
someone
to
on, you want something to talk about. 2016,
He's in prison. There's lots of reading time there. Come on.
a lot of reading time.
Don't Andy Dufresne him.
I got the local newspaper from 2016 to find out.
By the way,
that's when it
Vero's
opened.
100% agrees, but she agrees with a C minus. Oh, nope, C dash. Okay, I see it now. C minus.
Daniel, what's your guess?
Honestly, I know the answer, so I'm going to stay away from these. But I'm 100% sure that Tiffany doesn't know the answer.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know at all.
Would you also go see 2016 if you had to guess?
Yep.
If you had to guess, pure guess.
Sure.
Pure guesswork. I 100% trust Vero, and I live here. 2016.
I mean, you can also just do the math.
I don't have that many fingers.
All right. So, Jason.
What's the answer?
Answer is 2016.
Nice.
And
We just celebrated our 5th anniversary. Let's see here, just a weekend before last.
Last week, yeah.
on the 3rd.
Our big 5-finger blowout there, and that was kind of awesome. That was cool.
Well, that's a different event.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah, that's a different podcast.
I'm
That's
sorry.
our Wednesday night podcast.
Hours? I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah.
That's the after midnight show.
Sorry, kids. Sorry.
That's the adult
I couldn't work for a
version of
long
our
time
show.
today. Yeah.
So I do have a question based it's not on the year you guys opened up, but it is on the name and not on the Oozlefinch part, because I believe that's a trivia question as well.
It is.
Why beers and blending, though?
So that really kind of goes back to what we do here at the brewery, obviously. The beers, it's a very big natural part of what we do. But the blending piece really kind of pays homage to our barrel age program. Right now, that encompasses about probably 13% or so of our annual, production. It's a small piece, but it's a growing piece. Obviously, barrel aging takes a lot of time. 5 years old. You should have some product out in 5 years, but we switched brewers a little over 2 years ago. And because of that, now Rachel Howard. Whoa, she's not watching. She's actually in.
She's gonna kill you.
She is.
I think
now Rachel Howard, amazing brewer. She kind of revamped the barrel program for us. So, Phil, back to your question, the blending piece is really about the creativity that she brings to that program and blending certain flavor profiles of final products, barrels together to create the end result.
Very cool. And she's like really sciencey, right? Like when it comes to her. Is that what I think I read something like, yeah.
I love the general disdain and malaise. She is.
She's not just your typical like guy throwing stuff into a tub and making a beer. She like really takes it seriously.
Well, she can hang with the best of them. I'll tell you that. Rachel is one tough lady. She exceptionally talented, very gifted, but a brain that is 5 or 6 steps ahead. We do on average about 100 to about 150 beers a year here at Oozlefinch. So creativity and what we put into our beers is always something that we're working on. And we'll have these roundtable discussions and we'll come up with some ideas, and we'll look at her and she'll be sitting kind of off to the side and making some notes. And And you give her about a half hour, and all of a sudden she's like, boom, there's your recipe. And it's pretty crazy. She's got a chemistry background from Christopher Newport University, which is just down the road here in Hampton. And I tell you, just very gifted, very, very bright, but also strong as an ox. I mean, when I say she can hang with the best of them, that girl can sling some bags of malt and push some barrels, let me tell you. So don't piss her off. It's also, don't piss her off.
Don't piss her off. Number one.
Yeah.
I love it.
Very cool.
All right.
What do you mean wacky bird logo? This
Hold
bird
on.
makes so much sense.
All right. So, what is the story behind the wacky bird logo? I had so much fun with these.
I
Okay.
know.
So, A,
I can tell by how much text there is.
Jesus, I can't even read it.
I apologize for nothing.
Nothing.
All right. Okay, so the owner, Russ Tinsley, drew it back when he was in elementary and
Lies.
found the photo. Would you shut up?
Sorry. Okay, you're right. I apologize.
I got literally less than
Go ahead. I'm gonna
line
stop. I'm
in.
gonna stop.
All right. So he drew it when he was in elementary school, and he found the photo while he was going through some old boxes during the ideation process of creating the brewery. B, it was a local contest held within the beer community of the Hampton Roads area. C, it is old lore from the days when Fort Monroe was still an army base. A drunken captain kept claiming to have seen it outside the officers' club, and soon others were following suit and claiming to have seen the bird as well. And D, it is an extinct bird found in the Hampton Roads area from long ago that was discovered during an archaeology dig focused on the original Jamestown, Williamsburg, Yorktown revival.
I love your trivia, by the way.
It
Like,
is-
seriously, for what it's worth, the shit that Tiffany goes through to make these trivia questions is amazing.
It's
All
my-
these are so well written. I think all these are the right answer, and I know the right answer, and they're all ridiculous, and I love it.
I have, outside of like making PowerPoints, I don't really get a whole lot of time to be creative during the week.
I don't get a whole lot of me time.
So, true story. But anyway, making these trivia questions is always my favorite.
By the way, Vero for the win. No
Why are
one's
you
impressed.
letting everyone know the answer? Maybe someone else.
Well, I mean, they have had a long time to look at this, so we know the delay is gone.
Oh,
But yes, I mean, obviously, Jason, it's C, right?
Yes, Daniel, it is C.
Oh, thank God.
It is C. Part of what makes the Oozlefinch fun is it's just a funny ass, wacky looking.
Yeah, it's just this
I've got
dumbass bird.
I've got everything from a penguin. Some people have called it a turtle with a stretched neck. I mean, I've had some people call it some really weird shit, and it's hilarious because it's meant to be fun.
Yeah.
Tiffany, you kind of hit it. We're in the old Officers Club building here on Fort Monroe. So you can imagine the revelry that happened here in these four walls and the continued debauchery that still happens here in these four walls. But the fun part about it was it started off as a legend, if you will. One of the captains was here drinking. The Officers Club at that time, obviously, men only. And it was just about coming in after a long day, having some beers, playing some cards, talking some shit, having some fun. And he walked out of here. He was a well-to-do patron, if you could say, the captain's ranks. He walked out of here just drunker than a skunk one night and swore to God he saw this large bird that was featherless, mind you, with big red eyes, and was walking backwards. And of course, everybody says, "Oh, John, you're full of shit," and no, I swear to God. And so it kind of started and it snowballed. But what it turned into is as you came into the club and you hung out for a while, if you got drunk or oozlefinched, you were going to see the bird. Is what happened.
Yep.
So you're going to see the bird on your walk home. So this island is not that big, and there's lots of spots for the oozlefinch to hide. So occasionally, it's known to pop out even still now. So
I'm going to use that term every time I'm in public drunk, which is never. I'm going to definitely be like, man, I am Oozlefinch,
I am
and then just
Oozlefinch.
walk out of the room.
There you go.
I love it.
We have very, very nice representation down there in LA, thanks to Lime Ventures, who's located up in the Bay Area, and
Sure.
they keep the shelves well stocked down there in LA. So you'll be in good company when you say it.
Good. Well, you've got to send me where I can pick some up because I have not seen it yet in any of the stores I've been in, which has been one.
You're an idiot and you're in Burbank. No one
Not-
lives in Burbank.
I'm not in Burbank. Not at the moment.
Conan O'Brien.
I'm sorry, it's not at Vaughn's. I'm sorry.
Oh, Burbank.
Oh, Burbank. Beautiful this time of year. It's always beautiful, asshole. It's the same temperature.
All right, and this is where I messed up. I forgot that she got married, so I put Edwards.
You
So
son of a bitch.
the head brewer, Rachel Howard,
Right.
took over head brewer at age 24, shortly after graduating from Christopher Newport University as a chemistry major.
I mean, we know that's true now.
Well, maybe.
Wow.
At
We
24.
don't know the age, though. We haven't talked
age
about
could
that.
be wrong. You're right.
Let's just see now who was paying attention earlier. This is what this question
I'll give you a hint. Her name is Vero Garcia Valdez. And we're just going to wait for her to answer because it's really what I answer. Whenever
Yeah.
you're ready, Vero, the whole show depends on you.
She's already typed it. She's just waiting for it to pop
Oh,
up on our
Jesus.
end.
She's eating ramen again.
Please.
Answer.
That woman does not eat that.
I mean, I'm going to go with true, although I think there might be some trickery with the age or maybe the university if I didn't hear it right. But
Oh,
that's
thank God. Vero
besides
answered.
that,
Bill,
I'm
we're
going
safe.
true.
We're
Okay,
safe.
good.
Jesus.
But wow, crazy head brewer at 24.
True story.
And she had been there for a year prior when she was finishing up at Christopher Newport.
Yeah, and it's funny because
years.
I didn't recognize she was from Christopher Newport, which is crazy to me.
I've seen her in like a Christopher Newport sweatshirt, so
Yeah, but everybody around here has one of those.
I don't have one of those.
Yeah,
I don't.
you graduated.
I didn't go to the school. So why would
Yeah,
I-
it's weird when you do stuff like that, Daniel. Like when you wear Duke, it's very strange.
Oh, go fuck yourself. It's because they're respectable teens.
So quick side thing. To like help him like be able to wear that, I was looking into doing my master's at Duke, and it was like $138,000 for like a year and a half, and I was like,
Correct.
oh, I'll never pay that off. So I didn't end up getting my master's through Duke, but I attempted to help him with that plight.
Hold on. So Rachel comes from a chemistry background, and she's been there
Through 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
kind of an extra little tidbit. Yeah, she started actually, let me think here. She is a 3.5 years. She started while still in school. I believe her junior year, she started part-time here behind the bar. And what makes her story kind of so unique here is, you know, from behind the bar, really learning, you know, when Oozlefinch was in its infancy, the first year and a half, almost actually the first 2 years, it was just a different brewery. We had some different brewers at the time with some different visions, and you know, things evolved. But you know, her father was is still actually in the adult beverage business. He runs one of our
strip club.
That's so
yeah,
different.
Yeah, it cut out at after adult. I wasn't sure what that was.
quite a
There's a
bit.
small
Yeah,
pause.
the adult dancing about a being business. That's right. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, she's kind of been in and around the business growing up, but she started here kind of listening, and then from behind the bar, she got into, you know, the brewing floor, started inching her way in there, went in through, you know, the cellar program, worked her way through there, right on up through assistant brewer, and then when the opportunity came, and our brewer left at the time.
Oh no, he cut out.
Oh,
Wait, is it me or y'all?
I think it's just Jason.
Yep. Well, we were talking earlier, and there was some weird
Yeah, there's
Wi-Fi
like a delay.
issues when the forklift was near, and I know they were talking.
This is a great
they were
chance for me to
talking-
pee. I can pee now live, and I don't have to interview anyone.
No.
Would you stop? Oh my god.
I'm going to remove him just for now until we see him moving again. So we could actually, should we just kind of keep going through trivia then?
Oh no, we should 100% crack this beer. This is our third question, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So we are going to crack open the beer until we see Jason pop back up.
Also, let's really fast. So we are drinking Brunchies. And I know we were talking about the can art a little bit earlier, but
The can art is one of my
So-
favorites from them.
there's the bird.
There's that
Yeah.
dumb bird eating a cinnamon roll.
And I see bacon, I see butter, I see syrup,
There's
waffles.
mimosas,
I mean, this
waffles,
sounds.
syrup, cinnamon roll. Yeah. Anyway, here, let me pour that for you.
So you guys go to Oozlefinch pretty often, as
I
I've
forgot
just.
to tell you guys to roll it before you open
Already
it.
did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
well, mine's-
So we spend a lot of time down there, and what trivia failed to mention is Fort Monroe, which Oozlefinch is at, is a decommissioned military
we did
base.
talk about that.
So
Oh,
I grew up
gosh.
in this area, and it was always a military base. I wasn't allowed on Fort Monroe. So
Okay.
when I got older, Fort Monroe opened up to the general public because they shut down as a military base and
Yeah.
became a historical.
2015.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we can just go out there anytime we want and go like through the barracks and go through the beachfront and go
Yeah.
through everywhere, like all
They've
these
got
like
the Casemate Museum, which has a whole bunch of like various artifacts and stuff. There he is. He's back. I saw you texted me, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry I didn't answer. I was pouring beer.
Bring them back in.
A little technical glitch.
no worries.
I just assumed it was the forklift again from earlier.
So we're at the point where we're gonna go through one or two more trivia questions, but
poured
we
the
have
beer.
cracked the beer.
Also, you might recognize my glass.
We're gonna yes.
Cheers, cheers.
She is
We like to drink it a little bit while we finish trivia so we can kind of start getting some ideas of it.
Yep.
So let's keep going with trivia and see what's the next question. Let me try with these new overlays, and I'm already failing.
Yep. It was a good
Mhm.
idea while it lasted. All right. So,
I'll get there.
what is one of the things that makes Oozlefinch beers and blendings unique? Select all that apply.
That's too
A.
open-ended.
Oh no. A. One of the yeast strains used is derived from artifacts found on Fort Monroe.
Check.
B. Would you stop answering the question?
I don't know any of these answers.
B. They are located on a decommissioned army base from the
Check.
pre-Civil War era.
Sorry.
C. Many of their beers are experimental and hybrid in design. And D. They are extremely supportive of creating and maintaining an inclusive environment for their staff and patrons.
Well, I'm a patron and no one's included me on shit, so I'm gonna go.
Hey,
with
hey,
A.
now. Hey.
Oh, hey now.
Jason said earlier that you were familiar with this couch, and I was hoping it wasn't from the.
It was like a casting couch.
It's a
reference.
casting
Yeah, that
couch
is-
for sure.
That
That's
is too
awesome.
much. You're right.
That would have been very inclusive of him.
I think all of them. That's what I'm going to go with.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's just wait for Vero to answer. If anyone could stall till Vero answers, that'd be great.
I feel like I read them pretty slow.
Vero.
Would you stop?
Vero.
It's not her. It's the program.
God, I hate that woman so
It is
much.
such a
Okay.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You do not get to hate on Vero. Vero's
Well-
is all of them.
Oh, thank God she said all of them. Damn it, we're right.
Okay. So, I mean, we've already kind of talked about the decommissioned army base.
Correct.
I did mention the Casemate Museum is on there with a bunch of artifacts. I know that was one of Rachel's kind of original like things that she did when she came in, was she actually went to the Casemate Museum and was like swabbing different artifacts and actually found a live yeast strain, and then has essentially made it into one of your standard yeasts.
Correct.
What was it? The innovative agitator? Was that her first one? With
Yes.
that strain? Yeah.
Yep.
It was. I was so excited because me being a weird history nerd, I was like, "What?" And I love chemistry. I never went into it, but I did very well and honored in it. So, no big deal.
Not at Duke.
Thank you.
Not a-
How's your college basketball career? Garbage.
I was 5'4". It's not great. I can't even touch the ceiling. They
All
went
right,
on
Jason.
the
So is it all of these? Are we correct?
Oh no, he's frozen again. Gosh. All right, I got
Well,
this.
at least he froze while laughing.
This is
No,
fair.
I
so
love
there
the
we go.
idea that maybe he's like, is it all of them? He's still considering.
He's still just trying to figure it out.
But yeah, so one of the other things is as far as like inclusivity. I mean, they are huge supporters of like the DE&I movement, and that's all inclusive from the LGBTQ to women brewers and everything in between. And outside of that, I'm sure depends on how you look at it, but
Sure.
But super great. Everyone is welcome, like patron wise, and they have like very explicit rules. And if you break them, like sorry, you don't get to come back. So good on them. Their staff has always been super great. I've had zero qualms there. It's like I said, one of my favorite places. What was the other one? There's one more. Anyway, I forget what C was.
Many of their beers are experimental and hybrid designs.
Right. So this is once again kind of Rachel working with her chemistry and like really kind of bringing a different flair and using like I say weird, but just unusual ingredients. I want to say like she was bringing in like basil and like other things you wouldn't usually see in beers and turning them into something like really, really delicious.
That's what I wanted to, when I first brought up the fact that you guys are there a lot, meaning like that's like one of your go-to places. They are kind of known for their kind of bizarre beers, right? Like it's there's a lot of, they're sour heavy, right? Mm-hmm. If I read that.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So I mean, I've noticed like when I was looking at their Instagram, like everything is just bright colors. Like even the beers are just these bright colors. And
honestly, even this one. So this is the first time we've had this one.
It's like very. Like it looks like orange juice in a glass. It tastes like orange juice in a glass.
Yeah. So we'll bring him back in,
guys.
All right.
StreamYard kind of kept kicking me off there, so I apologize.
You know, I hurt my feelings, bud.
You're good.
Seriously.
We normally do this show by ourselves anyway, so no worries.
Yeah.
I figure if I keep knocking, you'll let me in, right? You know?
Hey, so here's my question. So we're maybe a quarter away through this beer, this is the Brunchies beer.
Right on.
Which obviously it's a breakfast beer. Like there's a lot of orange juice. There's a lot of cinnamon.
I wouldn't say like usually.
It's a breakfast beer. Every beer I have before 10 o'clock is a breakfast beer. And this would be one of them.
You mean 10 p.m.?
No, 10 a.m.
This is not. It's after 8.
I know, but if I had a beer at 10 a.m., this would be the one.
Okay.
That'd be your go-to.
Thank you. So Brunchies. I mean, obviously, this is geared at like a. I mean, honestly, for me, it feels like it's geared at a mimosa beer. Like
you
this is something you would have with pancakes.
It's like a fancy mimosa because it's got like the like spiced aspect.
Yep.
I would actually say it's just more of orange juice than mimosa because you have some of those mimosa beers and they're super carbonated. This one's not so carbonated, so I'd say it's almost closer to an orange juice.
Right.
Fair.
And this is actually one of the sours, right? When you think of a sour, what do you think of?
No, Jesus.
Not
Christ.
Jason. Jason, you don't get to answer this one.
Yeah. No, when I think of a sour, I think of a beer I'm not going to have.
Right. Like it hurts the back of your mouth.
Correct. It's extremely unpalatable.
It is a one and done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one of the reasons that I've always enjoyed Oozlefinch beers because they're more of a smoothie and like a fruit. It's not a fruit beer, but it's more of a fruit beer than it is a sour kind of, if I was going to put those in two categories. And so they are easily drinkable. And me being over a certain age, I usually need Tums if I'm going to do sours.
Right.
And so I haven't had the issue. I've also only had like 2 at a time at Oozlefinch. I don't know people who are crushing like 5, how they feel. But as far as Tums go, not really something I need to keep in my back pocket.
Well,
so you guys are heavy on lactose though, right?
Not heavy. It's an addition that we obviously have in our beer, but I've encountered many people that are lactose intolerant. We usually put about 0.5% of lactose in our beer. Very, very small amount. Some beers, obviously, a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of the secret to Tiffany, what you're tasting for us is our pasteurizer. This is a game changer for us. We've always done fruited sours, but the pasteurizing technique allows us to really amp up that fruit forward flavor and really accentuate all the adjuncts that go into the beer. So
nice.
Yeah.
Which is a weird animal. And it's one of those things you don't really think about. You're like, oh, why is this beer different than this beer?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of this process or the, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to the last trivia question, which is the only one that Jason created.
Oh yeah, this is the only one that matters.
So let's really quick go over this one, and then we'll give you the floor, Jason, and you can talk about whatever you want as long as it's relevant.
Yeah. Don't talk about dumb shit.
Wow. Okay.
So let me give you a completely open floor, but really scope you down.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about your shoes if you really want to.
Yeah.
But all right. So true or false? Oozlefinch was the first brewery to put together an online beer festival during COVID-19, during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Which one? The COVID-19 pandemic or COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah.
Because the is different than the...
Yeah, it's like the Ohio State. But it's but
they didn't lose their first game of the season. Sorry, that's not important. I
mean, I have to go with true on this one just because I feel like the question wouldn't exist if it was false.
Well, it would 100% exist.
Wonder if they were the
if
second, and he just wanted to brag about being the second one. I don't know.
No, also it's 100% true, and Tiffany is using their COVID-19 glass, their FML glass, that we got with that box, which is...
But it's got so everyone knows the meme, right? Where there's like the person sitting at the table saying like, everything's fine. Anyway, it's everything's on fire. They're like drowning, whatever.
So that being said, where did FML come from, like from the brewery standpoint, to create like this actual entire experience?
Right.
Because we were benefactors of it, but I don't know where it comes from.
I was so excited.
FML started as, just kind of like a lot of things do around here, just a very loose conversation. The pandemic shut us down March 18th here in Fort Monroe, Virginia. And it was the day after St. Patrick's Day. And we came to work with the governor's orders. Everything was shut down. And of course, there was a tremendous amount of unknown at that time. I mean, for everybody, right, across the board. Yeah. And especially for someone or a business like ours that, you're open because people come to you and you can have the dialogues, and all of a sudden that goes away and you don't know for how long. You go, oh shit, what just happened, right? So we made some pivots here at the brewery, and Russ, God bless him, man. He really said, look, I'm going to turn this over to the management team. You guys are each, the best at what you do in your own fields, and we're going to make this work, but we're going to have to get creative to make it work. So everybody, take the next 2 days off, go home, be with your families, but come back here in 2 days and have some ideas as far as what you want to do and how we're going to keep this business going. And we all did that. And we had actually in 2020 one of our best years that we had to date, just because of the passion that really lies here at the team. It's pretty amazing. One of those things that came out was the FML Fest. FML, you can kind of figure out what it means. It's a little bit of maybe fuck my life, right? With
I love that it's maybe
you can figure it out.
100%.
We at first we were like, holy shit,
Like, can we say that?
Yeah, right. Yeah. My mom didn't get the box. I don't know, Danielle. Unfortunately, she didn't. But
oh God, my mom got the box and she was like, family, military life, and I was like,
yeah,
yep.
Yeah, but I told my mom it was Fort Monroe life, so that's what I got.
Even better.
Yeah. But the idea came from, again, community, and how do we connect with our community that's so important to us, and at the same time our fellow brewing community. So both sides of the equation. Sure. And we started reaching out to the various contacts we have. Rachel, fellow brewers. Russ, fellow owners, myself, fellow sales managers. And we had a group of 26 of some of the best breweries across the country that said, hell yeah, let's be part of this. And we're actually going to live stream it. We had beers from each put into a box that was sent to, we shipped to 10 different states. We sold over 1,800 boxes that went out, and 1,800 people were able to join this fest, watch it live. The next day, It opened up to everybody, and you can still see it on YouTube, which is kind of cool. But it was everything from just fun shooting the shit banter like this to education, panels on adjuncts, brewers talking about what they want to do. I mean, it was an all-day event, and it was how do you bring people together when everything was so shut down last October and people were sitting in their homes, and a lot of people feeling dejected and, just like, oh man, and it was our way to kind of bring a little, familiarity back to people and just say, thanks for being a part of it. And at the same time, helping us keep the lights on and some good beer flowing across the country. So.
Oh, absolutely. We got beer delivered from you guys during the pandemic. Like, yeah, hell yeah, we can get a Oozlefinch beer dropped off at our front porch,
right,
from somebody we'd normally have to give our card to at the tap room.
Yep.
Yeah, come on, drop it off, man. I love it. Yeah, come on in.
Because you gotta check ID when you drop alcohol off, and like we open there, like, yeah, you're good. It's been a while. How you doing? Like,
FML Fest was such a big deal for us because I think that was one of our first beer box style deliveries. Like even before
we had a couple of so with Beer Drop and Tap
right, but this one was everyone we know, right, and like breweries we know, and we got a box, and there was like a theater setup of the box. If you unfolded it, I still have it. It's out in the garage. I saved it because there was like a theater setup of where you could display the beers on the inside of it, and it made like a stage and a curtain of the FML and the Oozlefinch logo. All around it.
We should have put it behind us. I didn't think about that. We do have
the idea was to part of that interactive phase is to have the consumer at home go through their box and find out what they like, and then they can shoot their own Instagram and put it out there and give us a little tag, and again kind of spread the love. So,
got to do it for the likes.
It's a lot of
the likes.
A lot of the words I live by,
right? And you might know some of the beers, but for us, when we curated that box, it was about, kind of bringing the best of the best to people when, like you said, Daniel, as a craft beer kind of, lover, fan, aficionado, all levels could open up that box and immediately gravitate to at least a dozen of those beers going, oh my God, It was really cool.
And it was one of the larger, so I mean, there's been a lot of beer festivals since.
Yeah, we've done a shit ton since then.
I mean, so the Beers Without Beards, which is another one that you guys have been kind of, more or less sponsoring or at least being a part of.
Sure.
But that FML Fest was such a huge box. It had so many beers.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them have, maybe 10.
Maybe.
But like you said, you had 20, what do you have, 22?
I think it was 26, if I'm not mistaken.
It was like 2 racks of beer in the box.
It was so many beers. I remember opening it up and I was like, what?
What are we going to do tomorrow?
Obviously have a hangover.
Yeah. It was, UPS loved us for, almost a month. They had, at any given time in our brewery, there was 2 to 3 semi-trailers ready to just pick up the amount of shipments going out. So it was amazing.
I don't know why they were complaining about their budget then. But
thank you. So that being said, then FML again?
Yes. So here's a little peek underneath the tent.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Not my tent.
That's our Wednesday night podcast.
That's the one after midnight.
My time zones. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, FML2 is going to happen. It will change its scope a little bit, obviously, because not the lockdown that we currently we had last October, rather. But November 20th, I'll spill out the date for you. It hasn't even hit social yet. So you guys and your followers right now are the first to know. 11/20. Keep an eye on the Oozlefinch socials for details to follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
The details are coming out on 11/20, or the box is coming out on 11/20.
I'm sorry. The event itself is 11/20. So details will be coming soon. Yeah.
Read a book,
Very
Phil.
cool.
Jesus.
TBD, Phil.
TBD, bro.
I had to throw together some text.
There we go.
I love it.
FML2 coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
That's very
I'm
exciting.
super excited about it because it was probably from the pandemic in general, which led us to Beer Drop and Tavor and all these things that exist now. That FML Fest was one of my favorites. Based off the people you guys got involved,
Yep.
the beers you had involved, the way that it got shipped, the artwork that came with it.
Right.
Like,
There was a lot. So, I mean, you mentioned
Holy
the like
shit.
go home, the ideation process, like everyone go be innovative, come back in a couple days. It shows, like, especially with that because obviously that takes time to curate and, get everything together. You guys did a phenomenal job. So
Thank you.
I know it was a group effort. So whoever needs the pat on the back,
but
please
Russ,
send it.
Paul, no one else is here. So well done, Jason.
I try. Yeah.
Luckily, I had these shoes on to help me.
There you go. Right? Yeah. There you go.
That being said, we're gonna get into the review portion, which is where we cut you loose.
Well, hold on. So
Just in
did we
case.
talk about the beer already? Yeah, we did. We
Yeah.
talked about the smoothie. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Anything else you want to pitch before we cut you loose?
How can there be more than that?
You
That's
guys.
a huge
More. There's
announcement.
always more.
Well, honestly, we're gonna be at a ska festival starting tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah, starting tomorrow, we've got a 3-day music fest that's happening out here. We are partnering with Ska Music International. We have over 36 bands, 37 bands that'll be playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Some from just down the road, some coming internationally from Jamaica, England. It's crazy. Ska music lover, reggae, a little bit of punk, a little bit of rock in there.
I'll see you there,
Obviously,
sweetheart.
we're from the same area.
It's
Jason,
everything.
I don't know why we're not best friends, but I think we just became best friends, if I can quote Step Brothers.
I dig it.
I think everyone over 30 just like woke up suddenly. Like no one knows where they are. They're like, did someone say ska? Like, they're so excited.
You're gonna be playing the Pie Tasters, Hepcat. Yeah, we'll be
Mustard plug, what?
Do not mustard plug. They are not going to be.
Yeah, so we're super excited. The guys are out there getting set up now, and first band goes on 11:30. It is going to be live streamed. SkaMusicInternational.com.
Nice.
Check it out. You'll be able to watch everything from our beautiful grounds here at Oozlefinch Beers and Blending on Fort Monroe, VA.
I'd love it. Jason, honestly,
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Right on.
Normally, this is the part of the show where I ask people to send me hats, but I'll just get a hat tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll have something else for you tomorrow. How about that?
Oh, God, I hope it's not a dick picture.
Yeah. Two of them. Yeah.
He's got 2 things in. Technically 3.
I think this shirt is like 3 years old. I know for a long time you guys had like no like merch, like no shirts at all, because I kept going in and I was like,
I mean, they wear shirts, but they didn't have
no, they had
shirts.
0 shirts at all. It was actually, they had the opposite of like no shoes, no shirt, no service. It was like, don't wear a shirt, don't wear shoes, and then we'll serve you. Really popular.
We're all about innovation here. Yeah, doing things different. Yeah,
That's not working out.
Very, very inclusive space. Everyone is welcome, including the nudists.
I love it.
Just
I
kidding.
love it.
Nudists are not welcome.
Maybe wear pants over the weekend, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see how it goes.
It's a ska fest. Anything can happen.
See you Wednesday, sweetheart. No, but honestly,
Thank
Jason,
you very much. This was awesome. Had a blast.
Seriously,
All right,
thank you.
Jason. Thank you.
Hi, Jason.
See you tomorrow.
Don't even look at the time. Don't
I
even
know.
look at it.
No.
We just like
Look
I
at
couldn't
the
stop. We
fucking
couldn't stop
time. I've
talking.
been tapping
He
Tiffany's
taps
leg,
me every time, and I'm like, I know, but
and
I
I
don't
use
care.
I use the mouse pad to circle the time. So when you see me leaning in like this, it's just me circling the time.
Right.
But you know what? It's another thing.
Shut
I
up.
don't care. It was entertaining. It was fun. I mean, so
And also, first of all, like I 100% came into this show wanting to hate this beer.
I know.
I
I
know.
didn't want to hate it. No, I didn't want to hate
not
it.
bad.
It's so this
Shit.
is literally every Oozlefinch beer for me. I read
Hold
the
on.
description,
What?
review
I
time.
think it's time
Oh,
to
yeah.
review this beer.
Did you just elbow
I just
me?
100% broke Tiffany's shoulder in off camera. I was like, review time. Bow!
All right. This is part of the show where we review. What beer are we reviewing this week? Tiffany, what are we reviewing?
We're brewing Brunchies from Oozlefinch Beers and Blending in Hampton, Virginia, on Fort Monroe. It's a decommissioned army base.
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
Don't tell me more.
Oh, just kidding.
So this beer, I will say, love the can art.
Correct. Any day of the week.
I was also like, what is this?
Nervous?
What is this flavor? Why are there waffles on my can? What's going on here? Then I read orange cinnamon bun style, orange cinnamon bun style, which is very bizarre.
So literally, I had this conversation with Tiffany before we got started because the sour realm for me is not one of my favorites in any capacity.
Once again, the Tums issue.
Correct. But if it's good, it's good. And then when I finally so we bought this beer at the brewery 3 weeks ago, right?
Right, something like
maybe
that.
4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even paying attention. And when I went to get it tonight, I read the actual ingredients. And I was like, orange cinnamon bun? I was like, get out of town. That's the shit I grew up on. That's what my mother made for breakfast. Orange? Cinnamon buns. Yes,
orange cinnamon buns?
Yes, ma'am.
It was usually discounted.
And I have bad news. This is fucking money. It is. I told Tiffany, I was like, I'm not a sour person, but I think this may be nostalgically my favorite beer we've ever had. It is.
Well,
it's your childhood, except with friends.
But and less molestation. Correct. But thanks for bringing it up again, Anne.
Daniel was homeschooled too, by the way. So I'm very concerned.
God, I hate you.
I don't even have a response to this, but I don't know if that's something you should joke on. But no. So
it's okay. If it happens. If it happens to Daniel, it's fine.
Two beer Tiffany does not count. Okay, so. But no. So every Oozlefinch beer, I read the description, and every time I go, I don't know. There was one. It was it was an ice cream sundae. It was literally.
Damn, that one was good.
It was so good. But it was so if you read the description, it was what were they smoking when they came up with this? It is things that you were like, well, beer and this do not mix. I've yet to have a beer from Rachel that I hated or even disliked, they're all so good and so unique. And so it's so true to that, beers and blending kind of mentality and the innovation that comes in. There are beers that I'm not going to find anywhere else. And they're so unique. And I do like the smoothie aspect of them. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is I should just never read the description because the description always throws me off. And I go, can you just have a pale ale or something? Just a standard IPA. Let me just be really basic. And then I have the beer and I go, man, this is it's I take 2-3 sips because I'm trying to figure it out, but they're always good.
To solve it.
I know.
I very much understand their title of beers and blending.
Yep.
Correct.
Now that I'm drinking this, I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So And to be completely honest, they also do lagers and because originally they started with a saison kind of feel.
Their real beer section.
Yeah,
that was another beer we almost had on tonight, but
yeah,
I drank all of them.
every beer we've had there is good. It's not anyway. But these smoothie sour beers, the fruit forward sours, they're all so unique and so different, which is really what sets them apart from all the other sours you're going to find. So if you're in one of the states that Oozlefinch is carried, you should check them out. And don't be weirded out by what it says on the can, because
Vero.
I can guarantee you it's going to be done well, and it's going to be unique, and it's going to be delicious. And if it isn't, sorry.
I'll give you Jason's email.
Sorry, not sorry.
It is no. Okay, no.
I really hope that I could get the FML box.
Dude,
I can't believe he.
I'll send you the pictures of the original one. Yeah. I still have the cardboard from the shipping container of it.
Yeah,
it was beautifully done.
Because he's a hoarder.
It was literally. I'm not a hoarder. it created a box that you could take pictures of each beer in the box.
Right.
So it made a little stage.
A lot of photos.
God,
Can we also talk about the fact that this show got Mallet in like episode 12?
correct.
And now in episode 26, I think what we're in, we just got the sneak peek like announcement of FML2.
Correct.
So basically, if you're not already
What's going on here?
And or subscribing, look at what you're missing out on.
Yeah.
One of us is going to get up and go pee shortly, and you're going to miss that.
This is why he circles the time. Is he's like, I literally only have an hour bladder, and I'm over here back-to-back meetings with like a 15-minute break. I literally ate half a piece of toast today because that's how little time I had between meetings, and that's fine.
All right.
But anyway, I'm just saying.
Let's start our reviews while Daniel is reviewing something else.
I'm curious to know what you think about this because I know you were really hesitant once again, kind of with the description of it and the orange and cinnamon and
So I was hesitant, but these are flavors I like in life, so I wasn't nervous in that sense. It's like, oh yeah, it basically feels like it's supposed to taste like when you have a big breakfast and you're shoving waffles, maple syrup, and then you're drinking orange juice, and I can taste all that in this, so that's very fun.
Right.
I will say about it though, I think it would be better almost in a skinny can or like an 8-ounce to 10-ounce can.
How about a skinny cup?
Well, no, but because you still got a pint of it. So I'm saying I don't need a pint of this.
I mean, that's a lot of fruit beers as well. So there is, and once again, because I'm very basic, I understand. There's only so much that you can drink of it.
Yeah. My mouth is already just I've had way too much orange juice. The dog is very upset about it. And so for me,
Kristen.
that's unfortunate. No, his name is the dog. And he's having a really rough time over there.
That's different. Yeah.
So for me, I don't want any more of it. It's so much orange juice. So if there was less of it, I would have been great. But I'm not going to be mad that I have too much. So that's not really going to come into play with my score.
Fair.
But I just think in general, if this was in one of those little skinny cans, maybe it was a 10-ounce can, it would be perfect because you just kind of have that one.
You want a Truly?
I do, yeah. That's
sense.
all I really want. No.
Jesus, no one does that.
But yeah, but I do like it, and so because I'm going to score it based on what I've had between kind of the sours, fruited, smoothie type beers, for me it's a 3.75.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that's 3.75 is actually what I'm going with as well, which is a big deal for me because
you hate orange juice.
I dislike orange juice as a person.
He won't even drink mimosas because
I don't mind mimosas.
You won't drink them if I make them. I drink the whole
I
bottle.
do think it's crazy that you hate orange juice, but you like this beer because it pretty much tastes like orange juice.
But
it's like a creamsicle.
Yeah, well, the creamsicle part is what does it for me because I do like that aspect of it. And it's one of my favorite parts about that's why I asked Jason earlier. I was like, you guys are lactose heavy, right? It's in every beer in some capacity. And it cuts some of the acidity, some of the sweetness, some of everything that comes into a sour and a fruited sour. That lactose kind of levels it off a little bit. And it does the same thing for me with the orange juice.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge orange juice fan. Am I a huge cinnamon and breakfast fan? You goddamn right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And this is it literally is. Honestly, it's what I was telling Tiffany after I read the ingredients. I was like, holy shit. This is my childhood on a Saturday morning. Literally, minus the alcohol, you jackass. I know.
I mean, I've just assumed.
You've met my mother. She's a saint.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, it literally is all the flavors, cinnamon rolls, orange rolls, all the breakfast, weird ass pastries I grew up on. Here they are, plus alcohol.
Yeah.
Jam on it. 3.75.
Nice. Tiffany, you're
all
up.
So I guess I'll make the math easy.
God, you have hurt me today. I don't know what the answer is.
No, so again, so I mentioned this a little bit earlier, like sours. If I'm gonna drink a beer, it's almost never a sour, like purposely. When I go to Oozlefinch, obviously I will drink sours because I'm there to drink the sours. But just it's not necessarily my jam, and so the way I rate things. For those of you who don't know me and or have watched the show,
You're welcome. Wow. Just me. Nobody else.
so
Pharaoh.
the way I rate my beers on Untappd, which is out of 5 bottle caps, 5, well, basically like 4.5 and up is like the equivalent of an orgasm. So I almost never get those.
Oh my God, I'm right here. I am right here.
No, but so the the 4.5 to 5 is a range that I pretty
Hold
much.
on, you broke Phil.
I know.
You've broken Phil.
He wasn't expecting it at all.
Oh, I was.
Oh, I was.
'Cause
Been there.
you understand. You roomed with him.
Yeah. Spent many nights with Daniel.
College was rough.
Rougher for Phil, but yeah, college was
Yeah,
pretty rough.
Just the way I like it.
But no, so the 4.5
This is
to
a
5.
6%er, isn't it?
The 4.5 to 5 is like just like blow your socks off, like amazing. Like, where did this even come from? It literally
the
angels
rating,
made it.
not the ABV.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So anything basically from like 3.5 to 4.5 is like really high in my rating scale. So 3.75 is good, like really good. Like I will 100% drink this again.
So that's your score?
Yeah, 3.75. Don't care
Cool.
that it's in a tall can because I'll drink the whole damn thing.
Yeah,
Phil?
you Nancy.
Yeah.
Too much
You
orange
approve
juice
it,
for
though.
me.
Oh no, mimosas are my jam. Although I've gotten very into Bloody Marys lately, and I think I've finally figured them out.
Yeah, but that's
It's-
all
it's-
because you had your period.
It's also because you're
that's
like
our Wednesday night.
Would you
podcast.
stop it?
you're somewhere in your 30s. That's when Bloody Marys start tasting better. That's also true. So
Well, no, it's easier for me to put the vodka back in the freezer because Daniel won't drink the mimosas. So if I'm doing mimosas, I'm drinking a whole damn bottle of champagne. So that weekend is toast.
Which leads to me cutting more grass to get away.
So 3.75 is our show score, which is, I honestly, coming into the show, I was nervous that we were going to give this a lower score. And it was even worse knowing that we had someone coming on from the brewery. But
Sure.
we have always said we would give a fair score no matter what.
Right.
And to be honest, I'm so happy that I gave this a 3.75. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So
It's-
that's always my thing with like a blended beer like this. Like, it's a little nerve wracking when you read the ingredients. When you read, it's like it seems weird.
Right.
And it is weird. And
Every
it is
time,
good.
but
And
it's
I'm
like
great.
weird in such a good way, in such a unique way that it doesn't compare to any other beers that you're gonna find. And I think that is my favorite part about this brewery. Is it's super unique. Like the can art's great as far as can.
I love the can art.
So anyway, 3.75. Highly recommend it. If you are in one of the states that has these beers, please go find them. Try them out. Don't judge the like weird ingredients.
Pharaoh.
I promise. Like, unless you're just adamantly against cinnamon.
Pharaoh.
Then and oranges.
Pharaoh. You're the worst person.
so definitely try something like Brunchies.
Right.
So try one of, or if this one doesn't work, if there's another, they have other fruited, blended
They
type.
had a really good berry smoothie one.
Yeah, I'll say when the fruited
what was it called?
smoothie beers started coming out, like heavy, I was like, oh, what is this? And I will say, if you're going to try one, I think Oozlefinch is definitely the place to start because it's only downhill from there. So just stay at Oozlefinch.
Yeah, right. Yep. And
Unless we have someone for next week's show, I don't know. Do we?
So Oozlefinch. So Oozlefinch.
I'm so Oozlefinch.
So 3.75 for Brunchies from Oozlefinch Beer and Blenders.
But
I was just talking about the. Oh, we're live.
Jam Fest.
Jam Fest, not the Jews.
So this is the part of the show where we talk about something completely random from our week that we wish was beer. So beer related or otherwise. So I
Tiffany,
guess
we'll go first.
I will
Make
go
them
first.
quick. We're already 15 minutes over.
I know.
Correct.
So mine is quick. I wish
Adult diapers.
communications, like just in general, were beer. Because beer, like you're following a recipe, like there's a rhyme, reason, best practices to how you're going to produce the beer. Communication is just shit show. Some people do it right, some people don't. Not everyone communicates the same way. So what my right is doesn't necessarily mean it's the same way that Daniel communicates.
Boy, we are running long.
Or Phil. So communication, because it is so key to making any decision. And it was.
Boy, it's getting late.
And if it was beer, you could just give everyone different, whatever flavor beer they want.
No, they would have a recipe to follow.
Oh.
Here's how you communicate an idea to me and or the group.
I thought we were getting away from long-winded. Why are we bringing up conversations on this?
Because it's communication. We're communicating.
Jesus, we are not communicating.
Well, look, we still have the segment. We still got to discuss it. It can't just be one-worded answers.
If
Daniel.
you don't want to watch what
I'll
I
go
think,
next.
What's your one-worded answer to what you wish was beer, Daniel?
Washington Football Club.
Club?
Correct.
They're not even a team anymore?
Not anymore, Haas.
It's the club.
Not after that shit show.
Oh, sorry. I know we don't want to have communications about continue
Man,
this.
you're the only
but-
one talking about your period. Let's move on.
No, if we're going to get into Washington football team, at first I was laughing because I was like, Washington football team, this is so stupid. They don't have an actual name. It's been 2 seasons. How do they still not have a name? And then I was like, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Washington football team. Like, why? I'm not 10 years old. I don't need a mascot and a logo and like a.
Right.
Do I need Tom Brady to dress up like a Patriot?
Yes.
from
What?
the 1870s? Oh, no, you do?
I mean, if Tom Brady's dressed up or not dressed up, I'll be there. So-
Call me Giselle because I'm there wearing my buncheons.
Just jumping in, just selling it all in. So any reason for why you wish they were beer?
Yeah, because no one's let me down more in the 16 years I've been a fan.
you should follow
Beer
the-
has never let me down other than like twice, and that was my fault. But in Washington,
You should follow the 49ers.
yeah, I did. I followed them all the way over here, and they left. And they're like, you know what we should do? We should take our franchise
like our
quarterback
viewers.
and hire a rookie. Hey, Garoppolo, what are you getting paid? $37 million? Oh, no, everyone's homeless in San Francisco. No problem. We'll hire a rookie for another $25 million. Yeah, damn what?
I mean, Garoppolo, though.
Very expensive to live there.
Garoppolo
very-
is great. Don't get me
Very
wrong.
nice to look at. Play
100%.
football.
But it's
look
like
at.
Carrie Underwood. Do I really want to hear her sing? No.
What is wrong with you?
That's a dual Monday Night Football reference.
And
Anybody?
you made that same reference on our Carrie Underwood podcast on Thursday at 2
Do
a.m.
not bring up our CMMT podcast.
Oh, what do I wish was beer this week? I wish that traffic was beer, and they should never mix. But man, I had to drive somewhere. It was 17 miles away. It took me 25 minutes to get there and an hour and a half to get back. So
I was gonna say 20 minutes. That is like I don't know.
it's perfect. I was like, well, it depends on time of day, but I shot out there, and then hour and a half. I literally looked at the traffic and I went, I'm going to take a walk around here, get a drink, hang out. Not an alcoholic drink. I don't do that before I drive, but like hang out. And then I was like, then I'll drive back. And then I looked at traffic and it was like, now it's only an hour. And I was like, perfect.
That sucks.
I mean, that's normal for back home. You don't give directions in miles. It's always in time. How long is it? Like 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, depending on traffic. I don't know miles. How long does it take for me to get to San Francisco?
No one.
An hour.
I don't know. Guys, good show. Another one.
Well, I mean,
Another
I'm
great
worried about
guest.
us, but
No.
what,
Well,
what are we doing next week?
oh my God, I'm glad you think of this stuff because I'm like, I don't know. I was about to close the show out. What are we doing? Tiffany, you want to do this?
Okay, so Sunday.
She's so good at closing the show.
I won't close it. I'm just going to announce next week. I will not close.
Thank you.
We've learned that lesson.
No one doubts you won't close.
I'm sorry.
Well, not when she's getting under 4s. She ain't gonna close.
So Sunday kicks off Oktoberfest, which is a multiple week long, exciting, beer filled.
Unless you're Jewish.
It is. It's not actually happening though this year, so we are gonna do it on the show.
Yes,
What?
we are going to celebrate it anyway. Yeah, man, COVID. So we are going to celebrate it on the show. So next week we're doing an Oktoberfest show. We are going to attempt to get something like that's easily distributed. Ooh.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Sam Adams Oktoberfest will be on the show. If you
Right,
want to
right.
grab
So,
something, that's definitely one. It's also like that's been one of my favorite beers for a very long time. So I'm
Yeah.
super excited to get it anyways.
Right. So we're going to do that one. And then Daniel and I might go try and find one of our favorites because a bunch of our local breweries also do an Oktoberfest. So we're going to bring some Oktoberfest beers, try them out, talk about Oktoberfest. Bring your favorite Marzen Oktoberfest style beer, whatever. If you can find the Sam Adams Oktoberfest, like I said, that's probably going to be on, as Bill said, right? Bill said it, not me. Probably going to be on the show. So join us next week for Oktoberfest. It's going to be so much fun.
Like, subscribe, send people to watch it as well.
Send hats.
And beer. Send beer.
God, I hate you.
That was the perfect closeout spot, but I thought I'd
Yeah,
sit
love
here
you, Phil. Thanks for
awkwardly for a
closing it
second.
out.